Okay. Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm going to walk you through how to edit images for the marketing platform. So to do this, if you don't have Photoshop or any kind of other image editing software, then I recommend using Pixlr, which is what I'm going to walk you through today. I have created a guide that will follow this webinar that we'll be able to upload to Resizing support site. So to get started, we're going to go through a couple of images, one being the featured tile, one being the featured camper. These are pretty common images that our franchise owners are updating, so I think you guys will find this valuable. To start,
just to give a little background, Pixlr is a free website to use, so you don't have to buy a subscription to this, correct, Reed?
Yep.
So you can just go to, you can see the URL at the top, and that's where you would go and begin the picture editing process.
So in the guide, you'll be able to reference these image sizes. These are all the images that we have that are editable to you guys to customize your websites. So to get started, as Julie said, you'll just type in pixlr.com, and we will go to the right side here in Pixlr Express, and you'll go ahead and launch the web application. After you've launched the web app, you'll come to this screen. From here, you're going to choose your images that you wish to resize for the web platform. For this webinar, I've already pre-made some images here. One of them was taken using my iPhone. The other one is a stock image, and I'll go ahead and start with this one. This is the featured tile. Now, if we reference the guide, you'll see that the featured tile size is 600 by 275. So how we're going to start this is you've uploaded your image, you've grabbed it. This was on my desktop. You'll want to start with going to Adjustment. Where you'll be presented with a number of options. For this purpose, we're just going to stick to resize and crop. So to start, we're going to resize this image. Now you'll be presented with the actual dimensions of the image, as well as a slide that keeps proportions. So you always want to make sure that this blue slide is highlighted. Otherwise, it'll end up squishing your picture like this, and we don't want that. So this blue slide is selected. That's good. And what we're going to start with is our dimensions for the web platform. So to begin here, you're going to select the largest dimensions. In this case, the featured tile is 600 by 275.
And the dimensions Reed has in the guide, so that if you look on the support site, that's probably a good table for you to print off and have handy for you to do your picture editing.
Correct. So we'll enter 600 into the width, because that's the largest dimension of the featured tile. We'll apply this change, and now we have a 600 wide image, but we still need to adjust the height of this image. So to do that, we need to get it to 275. We're going to come down to crop. Again, the width is correct. It's 600. The height, though, we need to be 275. So they will highlight this pane is our desired image size for the website. What you want to do now is just drag this into place in order to frame your picture. Then you're going to apply that change once these dimensions are correct. So this is the image for our featured tile. And now this comes, now we come to the most imperative part here, which is saving under the allowable limit for the Bridgeline platform. So what we do here is go up to save. And what we want to do is first name this something that is relative to where you're going to place it. I like to go ahead and include the dimension size just so it's easier to find. Okay, so once you've named it, then you want to increase the quality as much as you can while keeping the file size under 100 KB. Perfect. Save it. The name's already populated. Your image is saved and ready to upload onto the Bridgeline platform. And we'll go through that after I do this second example. Okay, so for this second example, we are going to do the featured camper, which is 250 by 300. So here's my example image. There's Finley looking ecstatic to have his picture taken. So we'll go to Adjustment. We'll go to Resize. We'll start with the largest dimension, which in this case is 300 height. Make sure this slide is blue, so our proportions are correct. So now this height is correct, and we need to adjust and frame the width here. So we'll go to Crop. We'll adjust the width of this image, and then we'll center him, and we'll apply. This is the featured camper image. It's 250 wide by 300 pixels tall. Now we're ready to save this image. And what we'll do here is increase the image quality as much as we can under 100 KB. Again, the file name is already pre-populated. Save it wherever you'd like. And now I'm just going to walk you through creating a folder on the IOPS platform and uploading these images that you've just resized. So in the IOPS platform, you'll go to Images. If you haven't already, you'll create a new folder. And we'll create featured tiles. We'll select that folder. We'll choose the revised image. This is the featured tile that we just recently resized. We'll name this. and we'll save it. Now we have an image ready to be implemented on our website.
All right, great. So you'll follow that same process for any of the images that you create. I know many of you have already created folders within iApps for your specific pictures, but anything that you create, you can save it into those folders, and then once they're uploaded, they're available for you to use on the website. You'll do the same thing for emails if you want to add new pictures to your emails that we have available. The same process you would use. So with that, are there any questions? I'll give you a few seconds to respond in the chat if there's any questions. And again, this webinar will be placed on the support site so you can refer to it later, along with the written instructions. And like I said, you probably want to print off the first sheet that has the table with the dimensions, so that will be a good guide for you to use or for your staff to use if they're taking pictures and editing them. One of the questions is some of the places for pictures will say the height is flexible. Is there any advice you can give us about resizing with flexible height?
I would say in that instance, you probably want to save a few images at different heights and just test out which one is most optimal for that space. You want to keep the proportions and make sure that that blue slide is selected so that nothing is squished or stretched. But as long as you have one proportion, the width, and that's correct, then I think that you can test and play with the different heights.
And I think the other thing to keep in mind is the picture size, the file size. So you always want to make sure that you're below the 100 KB so that it will load quickly on the website, that your site won't have any lag to it with pictures loading. Or same for emails. You want to make sure that the emails aren't going to take too long to load if a customer's opening it. So that's why we want to keep it below that file size. Are there any other questions? I'm not seeing any, so if you do, always feel free to reach out to Reed or myself, and we can answer those questions for you if you run into any problems using Pixlr or uploading the images to the website. We can always help you with that as well. And I'm not seeing any other questions, so thank you for your time, and hopefully you found this useful for you. Have a great day.